now let's take that idea a step further. No business grows in isolation. The right connections, collaborations, and partnerships can open doors to opportunities that would be impossible to achieve alone. In today's fast-moving and competitive landscape, aligning the right people and shared visions can accelerate growth and create lasting impact. So in our next session, the leveraging connections and partnerships through strategic alliances and shared visions, we'll explore how founders can build meaningful partnerships, align goals effectively, and unlock creative potential. So please join me in welcoming Beth Ryan, the Executive Director and founder of Stepping Forward LA, to the stage. Please make it nice and loud.
Hello, everybody. So my name is Beth Ryan. I'm Executive Director and founder of Stepping Forward LA, and we work with foster youth in the aging out of the foster care system. So Carlos, there's supposed to be a screen up here. Oh, that one. Never mind, thank you. So I thought there was a little screen up here, but it's a big screen. So thank you for staying for the presentation. It's gonna be a quick 15-minute, and really this is day one. And what I think we are all here to do is to connect and collaborate and find partnerships and alliances. And so hopefully this will just inspire everybody to use full advantage of the time that we have together. So there's an African proverb, and I think as founders, we probably all started out alone and thought we can go fast and we can go, and make this work. And it's not easy. It's definitely not easy when you're doing it by yourself and you're doing all the things. And so the African proverb says, if you want to go far, go together. And I would also add, if you want to have a little fun, collaborate, work with each other, share ideas, make sure that it's a collaboration that you enjoy with people that you want to spend time with, because collaborations can be hard also, in addition to being fun. So there are all types of collaborations. We are collaborating right now in this room. We can be in a sports team or go to dinner together or sing in a choir. You have cultural collaborations. You have political collaborations. And there's just tons and tons of ways that you can come together and share moments and goal setting as a group. So I'm not going to talk about all the different collaborations, but they're everywhere. So you want to have some tips that might make them easier and a little more enjoyable. So aligning on core values. So these three pictures depict very different visions that the group might have together. Obviously, a grandmother and her grandchild making a pie. The vision is just to have some fun and maybe to get a little messy. The picture on the right is of a group that was learning how to surf, and we are very lucky in Los Angeles. We get to provide a lot of great opportunities for the young adults that are aging out of the foster care system that they might not have otherwise. So a lot of the young adults don't get to go to the beach. Their first question is, are we going to the clean beach? And I wasn't sure which beach they were talking about that wasn't clean, but yes, we went to the clean beach, and we had an organization that got them up on surfboards. I actually saw a video. Our director of programs was there, and he's an avid surfer. And I saw a video where he fell into the water, and I thought, well, that's surprising that he would fall into the water. But he was really getting in there and collaborating and showing them how you can fall and it's not disastrous. And so really taking that fear away. So again, having the right collaborations with the right people is really important. So trust and transparency. We run a nonprofit. Having trust and transparency with our financial partners, I think, is one of the main reasons that allows our partners to trust us, because we do tell them everything. We tell them the good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles and the opportunities that we have as well. So it's really important, just to maintain that trust, build that trust, and to really work on it. And the transparency for our organization is what, if you're selling widgets, you want those widgets to work when somebody, buys them. But you also want to make sure that, running an event like this, you want to make sure that all of your participants feel secure and, that you're doing a good job and that they trust you. Commit to mutual wins. We don't want to have our collaborations be one-sided where one team wins and one team doesn't. You want to make sure that you find ways that everybody wins. So with our young adults and our staff, it's really important for us to make sure that they feel that they're winning, and we're just sort of the collaborators that are working with them to make that happen. Leave ego at the door. This is Pat when he first started as a volunteer with us. We want to make sure that the young adults understand that the adults can be silly too. Again, that's what works in our industry. That might not work in your industry, to wrap up adults in tissue paper and make them run. But luckily for us, we do get to play like that. And you can see the smile on the young adults' faces, where they just get to be kids and they just get to be with people that are having fun. A lot of the foster care system, I'm not going to go into everything that happens in the foster care system, but they lose a lot of their childhood and they lose that sense of joy. So luckily, we get to reinstate that joy through our collaboration. Communicating openly and honestly, and that means having tough discussions and making sure that everybody is, open and honest and saying what they need to say, taking care of themselves in the process, feeling like they're being listened to and they're being heard. But also, that they're learning, they're listening to others as well, and just being honest. If there's something you need to clean it up. And again, we work with young adults, so everything turns into an opportunity to learn. But we also have to model the right behavior and the right ways to communicate with them as well. Define clear expectations, making sure that you have what roles do you need, what responsibilities does somebody need to take on. I'm actually on a panel later today, and boy, the panel, Guinevere, I'm looking to you. People just stood up. They, became moderators. They put together PowerPoints. They put together screens, slideshows. So it really just is everybody coming together, doing what is your strength. So what works for you? What strength can you bring? And making sure that you don't have any gaps in your roles and responsibilities, and that there's, a summary at the end of every meeting that says, okay, Beth, this is what you've agreed to do. Pat, this is what you've agreed to do, along with the rest of the team. Check in regularly and adjust. So, whether it's with your staff, whether it's with the young adults, whether it's with your funders, whoever your key stakeholders are, it's really important to check in on a regular basis, not just say like, hey, it's been great working with you, but like, what's working? What's not working? What could we do better? What should we think about when we're signing contracts or agreements or MOUs or just having a job description? You want to make sure that the other partner is invested in what you think, what you're expecting of them. So when we start a new intern that, most times hasn't had a job before, we are very clear in what our expectations are. We have them read every single line and we have them check yes or no that they can agree to it. Because, and I always say, I'm going to be very explicit in what I expect of you, but this is what most bosses are going to expect of you. And so again, it allows them to, just all be on the same page. And again, just check in. Like, hey, we noticed you said that you could, be here on time, but you're not doing that. So what can we do to adjust? Like, do you need different support? Collaboration is a journey. It's not going to solve things immediately. It's not going to, be a short-term fix. It really is a long-time journey. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's why I called the nonprofit Stepping Forward, because it was action oriented. Even if you got, kicked 3 steps back, you just pick yourself up and you take 1 step. And you find those people that can elevate you, that can make sure that you're stepping forward, that you're not staying stagnant, that you're growing and expanding, but at a point that is manageable for you, right? That you can take on. My board chair, no matter where we get financially, he's always like, okay, when are you going to get to 5 million and 10 million? And it's like, slow down. Like, I'm in this for the long haul. I don't want to, wear myself out. I don't want to grow too soon or too quick. So this is one of my favorite quotes out there. Respect the timing. So, we have a board chair that I literally asked him 10 times to be my board chair, and 10 times he said no. And so I had to respect that he didn't either have the time, the energy, the willingness to commit. But finally he did say, like, what is it you want me to do? I'm like, be my board chair? He's like, yes. I'm like, I'm setting up the meeting already, so don't even tell me again. And Pat came to us as a volunteer. Little did I know that he would become my partner in crime in all of this. Because of him, I've been able to expand and grow and also just have a lot more fun and watch him do all those things I used to have to do by myself. So we are growing faster, for sure, with this collaboration. And I feel like in many ways we're just getting started, even though next year will be our 10th year. Not easy to do as a nonprofit in Los Angeles with all of the other competing, funders and people and programs. But because of collaboration, I think that's why we're here for 10 years, and I expect to be here for a lot longer. But definitely respect their timing. If they say no, it doesn't mean don't go back and ask them again. But understand that, not everybody has the time or the passion or the commitment that you want them to have when you want them to have it. And then part ways gracefully. This is my ex-husband, still one of my very, very best friends, and will continue to be. But if things aren't working out in the expectations that you had, have a conversation and make those adjustments. So he's home right now taking care of my cats so that I can be here. And again, you just want to have other business relationships that have come to an end and needed to part ways. But I thought this would be the better picture rather than putting somebody up there that I needed to part ways with. But, sometimes your needs outgrow what the relationship is. And sometimes it's just not the right time, or it's the right, commitment that, you marry somebody and a partner is a partner. So you want to make sure that it's the right partner. And if it turns out, whether you're building an app or a marriage, you want to make sure that you can make those adjustments, but keep the relationship, right? Keep the respect, keep the love that, I will always have for Jonathan. And so in conclusion, the 10 ideas are, what we've actually put into an app. So the young adults, especially during COVID, we couldn't see them anymore. We couldn't hang out with them. We couldn't have them to our offices and, and wrap people up in tissue paper and, dress them like mummies. So we created an app, and this has truly been one of my favorite collaborations. Because there's mutual wins, right? The young adults win. We get to hire 100 young adults aging out of the foster care system every single year because we have work to do, right? They're updating the app. They're adding things. We're talking about new features. They're literally going through every single piece of content, which is over 8,000 pieces of content right now. that over 400 interns have put together. And what they get to do is look at the learning series on education. In the process, they're learning about the education. So it's kind of like that vegetables in your meatloaf when you were a kid. And so this has been just the most incredible collaboration. It allows us, we just onboarded 58 interns and we have enough work for them. So we get to pay them and teach them research and graphic design and working together and time management and all the things that we want them to learn. And they get to know that they're helping somebody else, right? We all want to help somebody else. None of us say, I would like somebody to help me, right? Very few times in our lives do we say that. But it truly is, we need to give somebody else the opportunity to fill us with inspiration or light. So it really is important that you allow somebody to give to you in a successful collaboration as well. Thanks for listening. It's day one, so already we've had an incredible dinner with Christina last night. That was a form of collaboration. Had she not said like, hey, I'm going and would anyone like to come, we would have missed out on that opportunity. So we have a great opportunity. We will never all be together again. Ever. There's no way that we would all be able to make this time. So just really hoping that everybody takes the time and the advantage and get to collaborate. So I don't know how much time I have left, but before the next speaker, I would love for you just to turn to somebody at your table and just say, what are your expectations for, like, what are you looking for in this opportunity to collaborate? So thank you very much for listening.